China's socialist market economy is the world's second-largest economy by nominal GDP, and the world's largest economy by purchasing power parity according to the IMF, although China's National Bureau of Statistics rejects this claim. Until 2015, China was the world's fastest-growing major economy, with growth rates averaging 10% over 30 years. Due to historical and political facts of China's developing economy, China's public sector accounts for a bigger share of the national economy than the burgeoning private sector. China is also the world's fastest-growing consumer market and second-largest importer of goods in the world. China is a net importer of services products. China is the largest trading nation in the world and plays a vital role in international trade, and has increasingly engaged in trade organizations and treaties in recent years. China became a member of the World Trade Organization in 2001. China also has free trade agreements with several nations, including China-Australia Free Trade Agreement, China-South Korea Free Trade Agreement, ASEAN-China Free Trade Area, Switzerland and Pakistan. On a per capita income basis, China ranked 77th by nominal GDP and 89th by GDP in 2014, according to the International Monetary Fund. The provinces in the coastal regions of China tend to be more industrialized, while regions in the hinterland are less developed. As China's economic importance has grown, so has attention to the structure and health of the economy. To avoid the long-term socio-economic cost of environmental pollution in China, it has been suggested by Nicholas Stern and Fergus Green of the Grantham Research Institute on Climate Change and the Environment that the economy of China be shifted to more advanced industrial development with high-tech, low-carbon emissions with better allocation of national resources to innovation and R&D for sustainable economic growth in order to reduce the impact of China's heavy industry. This is in accord with the planning goals of the central government. Xi Jinping's Chinese dream is described as achieving the 100s. The material goal of China becoming a moderately well-off society by 2021, the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party, and the modernization goal of China becoming a fully developed nation by 2049, the 100th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic. The internationalization of the Chinese economy continues to affect the standardized economic forecast officially launched in China by the Purchasing Managers' Index in 2005. At the start of the 2010s, China became the sole Asian nation to have a GDP above the $10 trillion mark. As China's economy grows, so does China's renminbi, which undergoes the process needed for its internationalization. The economy of China has recently initiated Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank in 2015. China has been criticized by Western media for unfair trade practices, including artificial currency devaluation, intellectual property theft, protectionism, and local favoritism due to one-party oligopoly by the Communist Party of China with socialism with Chinese characteristics. As of 2015 there was talk of a slowing Chinese economy, but that referred to a slowing of the rate of economic growth, not to a recession. The slowdown manifested in industrial regions as excess capacity in basic industries such as coal, steel, and cement. In the auto industry as reduced sales. Regional economies. China's unequal transportation system, combined with important differences in the availability of natural and human resources and in industrial infrastructure, has produced significant variations in the regional economies of China. Economic development has generally been more rapid in coastal provinces than in the interior, and there are large disparities in per capita income between regions. The three wealthiest regions are along the southeast coast, centered on the Pearl River Delta, along the east coast, centered on the lower Yangtze River, and near the Bohai Gulf, in the Beijing-Tianjin-Liaoning region. It is the rapid development of these areas that is expected to have the most significant effect on the Asian regional economy as a whole, and Chinese government policy is designed to remove the obstacles to accelerated growth in these wealthier regions. See also: List of administrative regions by GDP, List of administrative regions by GDP per capita, and List of cities by GDP per capita. GDP by administrative division. There are 31 administrative divisions in China. Below are the top administrative divisions in China ranked by GDP in 2014. GDP was converted from CNY to USD using a FX rate of 6.1428 CNY USD. Hong Kong and Macau. In accordance with the one country, two systems policy, the economies of the former British colony of Hong Kong and Portuguese colony of Macau are separate from the rest of China, and each other. Both Hong Kong and Macau are free to conduct and engage in economic negotiations with foreign countries, as well as participating as full members in various international economic organizations such as the World Customs Organization, the World Trade Organization and the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, often under the names Hong Kong, China, and Macau, China. See also: Closer economic partnership arrangement with Hong Kong and Macau. Development. See also: List of administrative divisions by Human Development Index. China, having been through a long period of economic downturn before 1978, has recently become one of the world's major economic powers. Following the implementation of economic reform from 1979, China shows a great development potential from its remarkable economic growth rate in these years. China has in place the 5-year plan strategy in order to achieve continuous economic development. The 12th 5-year plan is currently being implemented. Like Japan and South Korea before it, for nearly 30 years China has indeed been growing, thrusting its citizens into prosperity and its goods across the world. Between 1978 and 2005, China's per capita GDP had grown from $153 to $1,284, while its current account surplus had increased over 12-fold between 1982 and 2004, from $5.7 billion to $71 billion. During this time, China had also become an industrial powerhouse, moving beyond initial successes in low-wage sectors like clothing and footwear to the increasingly sophisticated production of computers, pharmaceuticals, and automobiles. Just how long the trajectory could continue, however, remained unclear. According to the 11th 5-year plan, China needed to sustain an annual growth rate of 8% for the foreseeable future. Only with such levels of growth, the leadership argued, could China continue to develop its industrial prowess, raise its citizens' standard of living, and redress the inequalities that were cropping up across the country. Yet no country had ever before maintained the kind of growth that China was predicting. Moreover, China had to some extent already undergone the easier parts of development. In the 1980s, it had transformed its vast and inefficient agricultural sector, freeing its peasants from the confines of central planning and winning them to the cause of reform. In the 1990s, it had likewise started to restructure its stagnant industrial sector, wooing foreign investors for the first time. These policies had catalyzed the country's phenomenal growth. Instead, China had to take what many regarded as the final step toward the market, liberalizing the banking sector and launching the beginnings of a real capital market. According to an article in Journal of the Asia-Pacific Economy authored by Meet Feridun of University of Greenwich Business School and his co-author, Abdul Jalil from Wuhan University in China, financial development leads to a reduction in the income inequality in China. This process, however, would not be easy. As of 2004, China's state-owned enterprises were still only partially reorganized, and its banks were dealing with the burden of over $205 billion in non-performing loans, monies that had little chance of ever being repaid. The country had a floating exchange rate, and strict controls on both the current and capital accounts. In mid-2014, China announced it was taking steps to boost the economy, which at the time was running at a rate 7.4% per annum, but was slowing. The measures included plans to build a multi-tier transport network, comprising railways, roads and airports, to create a new economic belt alongside the Yangtze River. In 2024, China will become the world's largest economy, according to the global information provider IHS Inc. NYSE, IHS. Over the next 10 years, China's economy is expected to rebalance toward more rapid growth in consumption, which will help the structure of the domestic economy, Rajiv Biswas, IHS chief Asia economist, said in a statement by the company based in Englewood, Colo. Regional development. These strategies are aimed at the relatively poorer regions in China in an attempt to prevent widening inequalities. China Western Development, designed to increase the economic situation of the western provinces through capital investment and development of natural resources, revitalize northeast China, to rejuvenate the industrial bases in northeast China. It covers the three provinces of Heilongjiang, Jilin, and Liaoning, as well as the 5 eastern prefectures of Inner Mongolia. Rise of Central China Plan, to accelerate the development of its central regions. It covers 6 provinces: Shanxi, Henan, Anhui, Hubei, Hunan, and Jiangxi. Third Front, focused on the southwestern provinces. Foreign investment abroad. Go global, to encourage its enterprises to invest overseas. Key national projects: the West-to-East electricity transmission, the West-to-East gas transmission, and the South-North water transfer project, are the government's 3 key strategic projects, aimed at realigning overall of 12 billion CUM per year. Construction of the South-to-North water diversion project was officially launched on the 27th of December 2002, and completion of Phase 1 is scheduled for 2010. This will relieve serious water shortfall in northern China and realize a rational distribution of the water resources of the Yangtze, Yellow, Huaihai, and Haihe river valleys.